The next part of the process is choosing what content you're actually going to post. You should, at this point, know who your audience is, so who you're focusing your content towards. You should know what your value propositions are, both your unique value proposition and your comfort value proposition. And then you should also know the emotions that you want your consumer, the person receiving your content, to feel when they experience your content. Now, keep in mind, you can't guarantee anything. You can't guarantee how a person is going to feel when they read your funny meme or how they're going to feel when they see a picture of the universe. All you can do is try to get there, right? And everybody's in a different mood all the time, and everybody has all their own experiences, and everything is very subjective. So nothing is guaranteed. All you can do is work in one particular direction. And hopefully these details will help you figure out what direction that is. So, how do you decide, now that you know who you're directing your content towards, exactly what content you're going to be sharing? So the first thing is to brainstorm types of content. And I'm going to give you a few here, but there's a ton of content that you could be sharing and posting and creating. And so if you have something specific in mind, then you should definitely, think about going in that direction. But here's some general categories. The first is photos. Photos can be photos of life, of real things, of real people. They can also be stock photos, so photos that you pay for or that you can get for free on the internet that you think represent your book and the things that are going on in your life. You could also do drawings or illustrations, comics, pictures of your book itself. All of these are visual representations of your work or an idea or a concept. You can also post links to things. This could be links to your book, links to your website or your blog, links to other people's websites or blogs. So for example, maybe you write nonfiction, maybe you write, say, self-help, and you come across a really great blog post by a psychologist on understanding imposter syndrome. You can link to that blog and put some content about why you think it's relevant to your viewership and your followers. You can post links to literally anything that you think your audience might find interesting. In fact, there are some authors and some social media influencers whose entire thing is literally just curating content from other places on the internet. So let's see. Images, links, videos. Videos are great. If you're on Facebook, you can do your own videos. You can post them directly to Facebook. You can post links to YouTube. You can do live videos on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube. Videos can be of you, your face. Maybe you made a book trailer. It can be videos of that same psychologist talking about imposter syndrome on their YouTube channel. Videos are great. You can also post text-based things. Text-based things work really well. I follow one political analyst who writes a letter every day explaining what's going on in the news and in the world. She writes a literal essay every single day, and it's just text with some references. It's not a link, it's not an image, it's not a video, it's literally just an essay every day. So text-based things. Also, poems work really good for text-based things. I know authors who write haikus, and they just post haikus on their social media, and it's interesting and it's entertaining. I could go on because there are tons and tons of different types of content that you could post. What I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into some examples of how the content itself relates to those 4 steps or the 3 pieces that I already talked about: the knowing your audience, the value propositions, and the emotional impact. I'm having trouble remembering them all. So that way you can see what this might actually look at in action. But before I do that, I want to also address the idea of prioritization. So you have your goals, right? And then you have your different types of content you could be posting. But that doesn't mean that you should be posting all of these things. So for example, creating your own videos is a lot of work. I know, because I'm doing it right now. Creating videos requires you to have a certain set of skills. You have to be willing to talk to the camera. You have to know what you want to talk about. It's time. It's a time investment, and it's a significant time investment. Maybe you don't have any graphic design skills whatsoever, and so you don't know how to create nice looking images that are related to your books or your work. Maybe you don't know how to draw, so you don't want to do drawings. So you need to prioritize and choose what content that you are going to create based on a few things. First off, money. If you don't have a budget, you can't be buying stock photos, for example. But maybe you can use some of the free stock photos. Make sure you read their licensing agreements, just as a little pro tip. Maybe you don't like making something. Maybe you don't like making images, or you don't like making videos. If you don't like doing something, you don't have to do it. You really, really don't. So money, whether or not you like doing something, whether or not you have the skills to do something. I have the skills to make this video because I have made a lot of videos in my life, and I have actively worked to learn how to do that. But 7 years ago, I didn't know how to make videos, and so I didn't do it. If you don't know how to do something, you don't have to do it. On the other hand, if you think it's a useful skill that would be valuable to you in the future, it's certainly worth learning. And if you have a specific skill, you should use it. And I mean any skill. If you can play an instrument and you can figure out a way to connect music with your brand, then play instruments on a video, you know? If you are an excellent photographer, then go out and take photographs and share them with your followers. If you can draw pictures, you know, do illustrations. If you're good at Photoshop, whatever it is that you're good at, sit down and really think, what can I do? What am I good at that I can use to share with my network, with my potential fans, and with my actual fans? Use the skills that you already have rather than spending tons of time going out and learning new stuff. That said, I'm not trying to say you shouldn't learn new things. You definitely should. But don't feel like you have to know everything to be successful at creating unique, custom social media content, because you don't. So, just to reiterate, you can prioritize what exactly you're actually going to do based on if you can afford it, if you already know how to do it, and if it's something that you actually want to be doing.